Bienvenidos and welcome back to Puro Pinche Gol, the place where we discuss all things USMNT y la selección mexicana. My name is Adrian. I'm joined once again by my co-host and Tocayo, Adrian. Adrian, what's going on, man? How are you, bro?
Hey man, I'm doing all right. Just all right. I mean, kind of slow week. No big news on the selección mexicana, but we do have repechaje coming up.
Yeah, it's starting to get good. The regular season ended. Play-in repechaje matches are starting this weekend, this Saturday, I believe. So, man, there's always surprises with those, and quite a lot happened this last match day, 17. So,
I know.
excited to discuss with you, man. This episode, we're going to be discussing ligamx Clausura 2023 Repechaje, kind of the preview, covering what happened in the final day of Liga MX, match day 17. How did la tabla de posiciones end up? Who qualified automatically? Were there any major changes in the top four? And, who will be playing who in Repechaje? So make sure y'all stick with us here as we discuss. Adrian, man, let's just get into it. We have a lot to cover here. What can you tell us of la tabla de posiciones? Did we see any major movements there?
So I mean, as we predicted on last episode, we didn't see that many big moves from the first place to the seventh place. Pretty much every single team remained the same, with Monterrey at the top and Tigres sitting at the seventh place right now. Um, And other than that, the biggest change could is that Santos ended up being the 13th place. But as we also mentioned during the last episode, looking at Jornada 17, is that El Querétaro is the team with the lowest coeficiente, or sorry, cociente, which automatically disqualify them from from repechaje and qualify Santos. So this season we can have the 13th team of the table having a shot to be the champion of Liga of Clausura 2023. Isn't that interesting?
13th out of 18 teams. That's
Exactly.
insane. Yeah.
It
Imagine if
is
they somehow
insane.
pull it off.
But no, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at this point in time, man. I mean, it's Liga MX. They do stuff like this every now and then. Even before Repechaje, with Liguilla having the first eight coming in and then having the eight being, winning the championship more often than the first place, it's just outrageous. So I wouldn't be surprised if, for some reason, Santos has a nice, decent streak of 6 games in a row, and they make it all the way to the final, and then win it all. This is just another day in Liga MX.
Indeed, another day in one of the most unpredictable leagues in the world, but one of the funnest
No
leagues in the world.
kidding.
Going through match day 17, we didn't really see any major upsets, did we? I mean, America beat Juarez as we
Nah.
expected.
Mhm.
Rayados destroyed Pumas 4-1. Guadalajara beat
Yeah.
Mazatlán 4-1. Tigres played their bench in an effort to save maybe for the CONCACAF here this week. Lost to León 3-0. So as we move into repechaje, which kind of deals with teams ranked 5 through 12, asterisks 5 through 13 in this point. Um, what are the matches looking like? Who's playing who, man?
Sure. So Tigres is playing against Puebla, so that's the seventh place against the 11th. So I guess in this case 10th, because Querétaro is out. Pachuca is playing against Santos Laguna, which is Pachuca 5th, and Santos is the 13th. León is playing against San Luis, so that's the 6th place. León against the 11th place San Luis, and then Cruz Azul against Atlas, which is Cruz Azul 8th and Atlas 9th. Um, and these are the matches. I just want to run people that this is a one match game, so there's no second leg, and we have to have a winner. If I'm not mistaken, these aren't extra time games. These are a if you tie it on the ninth, during the regular 90 minutes, you go straight to penalty shootouts. So that's what makes repechaje fun in the eyes of Doña Fede and her sequaces.
And to add to that, they're played at the highest ranked seeds home.
Hmm.
So it's gonna be a game
So
in Pachuca, game in León, game in Monterrey, and game
yeah,
in Cruz
Mexico
Azul
City.
in Mexico City. Yeah.
Mhm.
Who are still playing their games in the Azteca, right?
Yes, yes, because well, I mean, They used to play El Azul. They were supposed to demolish that thing. They haven't demolished it yet. I think Atlante plays there now. I mean, there's still some kind of soccer
Oh,
going
still
around
being
that
used?
stadium.
Wow.
It's still being used. But yeah, no, Cruz Azul rents
Yeah.
the Azteca for their games.
Yep. Cool, man. So from these four games, the possible nail biters, Cruz Azul, Atlas, obviously 8 and 9, they're playing each other. Santos, even though they're 13, I mean, they have a tendency to step it up in Liguilla and cause surprise. So that Santos Pachuca one is going to be crazy. The other two, I would assume they would be fairly straightforward with León beating San Luis and Tigres beating Puebla, but you never know. Um, let's get into some prediction times, man. What can you tell us about Tigres Puebla?
So Tigres Puebla, right? I want to clarify something. Y'all know I'm a huge Tigres fan, and so maybe people may thinking that I'm making the bet or teniendo la camita right now, or this is just like a Kabbalah for me. But I just have lost all faith in Tigres this season, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are unable to pull a win against Puebla. During regular season, they won 1-0. It was a close match, to be fair. But in this time around, Tigres has a second leg semifinal against León in León before they play Puebla. Uh, they pretty much bench all of their starting players in favor of
Mhm.
this match, which means that La Biciboldi, with Robert Dante Siboldi at the helm of that BC Boldi, um, he's going to be playing all starters, right? So that includes Gignac, that includes Cordova, Julian, sorry, Luis Quiñones, Carioca, Pizarro, Samir, etc. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Even if they win against Leon, right, and they get that boost of confidence to face Puebla, this season has just been ups and downs, and I just feel that the team right now
Mhm.
they play depending on who's in front of them, right? So if it's the likes of Mazatlan, they play like a team that is at the level of Mazatlan, and that's why Mazatlan defeated them. If they play against a team at the level of I don't know America or Monterrey or Leon, they step up their game, they bring it up, and even if they don't win, they put up a good fight. So I
Right.
think this is going to be one of those cases where they think, "Oh, it's Puebla. We can definitely, beat them." And then all of a sudden,
Oh
they,
man.
get their ass handed. So my
Yeah.
prediction is Puebla wins 1-0.
Wow. So are you? Yeah, we've seen that happen time and time again. What you're saying with Tigres, they played to their opponent's level and don't play to
Mhm.
the level that they should be playing at. Um, do you think at this point Tigres is probably saying we're going to go all in CONCACHAF and really just see what the hell happens in Liga MX, or you think they're
Yeah,
still
I
trying
think
to
that's
win at
the
both fronts?
no. I think it will be. I'll be clowning if I said that they're going for both tournaments. But no, man, I think they're putting everything in favor of CONCACHAF, which makes sense to me because it's the technically speaking is the easiest path to win a championship right now. They only have three more games to make that happen. Compared to Clausura 2023, they'll have Repechaje, and then they have four more games to make it to the final, and then additional two to be the champion. So
Right.
yeah, I don't see why anyone would say that Tigres is aiming for both championships. And on top of that, Tigres has had a very horrible uh, at home season playing in El Volcán. So that's why I don't have any faith in them. And right now, I wouldn't be surprised if Puebla knocks them out 1-0.
Damn, man. I'm gonna go ahead and say Tigres 2-0 just because I'm an optimist, but we'll
Damn.
see.
All
We'll see what
right.
happens.
Dios
Uh,
te oiga.
I know. Pachuca Llantos. What are we thinking here, man?
This is gonna be an interesting one. This is gonna be one of those, uh, you know, strong team against a so-so team. One interesting fact about Llantos is they classify it as 13 as we said, but they fired their coach in I think week 15th of this clausura. So they have a new coach coming in who's supposed to play similar like Almada, slightly different in the way they attack, but it's essentially the same concept with high intensity players going up and down, young squad, and trying to make the most out of it. Pachuca arrives with 3 wins out of the 5 last games that they had. Still a strong team, but it's not coming in clutch as they did last year. Their forwards are not on fire as they did last season with Nico Ibanez. El Chicho Arango has not settled it hasn't settled yet with the team, and then Roberto La Rosa, he's unable to make a break as the starting striker. And then if we look at the regular season game, Pachuca destroyed Llantos 4-1. So I feel it's a no-brainer, and I feel Pachuca is just going to again destroy them 3-1. I see this as high odds for having a lot of goals in favor of one team. I don't think it's going to be like a 3-1, sorry, 3-2, 4-3 kind of game. I don't think it's going to be close at all. I think it's just going to be a you know
Hmm.
complete annihilation from Pachuca against Santos.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think that earlier regular season match where they won 4-1 kind of showed the gap there. Santos
Yeah.
wouldn't even be in the repechaje if it wasn't for that situación with Querétaro. So um, that gap's
Jeez.
definitely there. And yeah, I can see 3-1, 2-0, 3-1, 3-0. I think we're in agreement. So Pachuca advances. Um, León San Luis. What can we expect here, man?
Leon, just like Tigres, they're going to be facing that semifinal in Coca Um, Unlike Tigres, though, they didn't play with like a full alternative roster on this last week of Clausura 2023. They played like a mix of regular players and some bench players. They completely destroyed Tigres. I'm not gonna make just an excuse that Tigres was using youngsters as starting players, but they completely destroy them. Leon has displayed a good, collective game style throughout the season. He has had its ups and downs, but I would say it was fairly regular throughout the entire season. If we look at the regular season game, they won 2-1, 2-0, sorry, against San Luis, and I don't want to say it was an easy game, but it wasn't that challenging for Leon. Um, and so I think it's going to be the same case. I don't think San Luis can take on Leon as much as I want to be, as much as I want to see an upset, and this might be the upset. I just feel that Leon is just gonna plow through San Luis and win. You should definitely check out Davila, Ivan Moreno, and Lucas Romero from Leon. These are the players to follow, and I think it's gonna be another 2-0 in favor of Leon.
Yeah, Leon has been playing well all season, and they completely destroyed Tigres in this last one, which might give them confidence in Concachafa. The only thing I could see Leon maybe causing them harm in this game, an otherwise easy game for them, would be fatigue. Like you said, they
Yeah.
played against Tigres last end of last week in Concachafa. They played most of their starters. I think 6 of them, 7 of them were starters
Yes.
against Tigres this weekend, and then they're going to play again before this week before the repechaje against Tigres again with all their starters again. So can they do it four times in less than 2 weeks? I don't know. They should. I mean, they have the quality, but fatigue it's fatigue, man, and it's pain. So we'll see if they can do it. I see them scratching out a 1-0 win. And
Ooh. All
I
right.
asked, yeah, I asked you this about Tigres. I'm gonna ask you this about Leon now. Do you think Leon is just focusing now, putting all their eggs in the basket of Concachafa, or are they trying to win on both fronts?
No, I think they're trying to do the best on both fronts. I'm not sure if they're aiming to win both, but I'm pretty sure they're aiming to be competitive on both. And that's the reason why Larcadeos played, a mix of bench and starting 11 players. I also want to say that if there's one weakness to this Leon is that they don't have that much of roster depth. So that's why, he's forced to be playing at least half
Right.
of a, starting 11 team. So I think they're going for I want to say they're going for everything. They're not just going just settling for one. I think they feel very confident that they can make a good run for both of them. But yeah, I mean I don't see it the same way as Tigres, right? Because they didn't go through the same ups and downs and that emotional roller coaster where
Right.
Tigres lost a coach and they have Chima and all that good stuff. Well, not good stuff, but bad stuff. Um, and so I feel that they feel confident they can put up a good fight on both ends.
Yeah, they're in a more cohesive, positive place than Tigres, who had just been through a lot this season. Um, so let's look at the last matchup here: Cruz Azul versus Atlas. What can we expect from this game, man? Who you got as a winner?
I think, if we look at all the matches for this Saturday, this has to be the closest one, just because it's looking at the table, it's the eighth against the ninth, so these are the teams that are the closest in that point gap and I guess performance gap in any way. Um, I think, if I'm not mistaken, both teams arrived with a decent run. The second half of the season was kinder to them than the first half of the season. If you look at Atlas, you'll see Julian Quinones on a goal strike of I think 2 or 3 games in a row. So much that he ended up being the runner-up of this tournament, top goal scorer with 12 goals, just two behind Henry Martin. And Cruz Azul, with the bringing in Tuca, they actually improved their game. They stopped allowing to get a lot of goals against them, but they haven't been that sharp on the front. So I think this is going to be a very close match. I think it's going to come to a who makes a defensive mistake and how good is the opposition on capitalizing that mistake. I do want to say that I really dislike Tuca, so I really hope that he loses. And my
Dude,
prediction is that Atlas is going to win 1-0. I think Atlas is going to take it home. As much as
wow.
Cruz Azul has improved under the guidance of Tuca, I think Atlas comes with the best momentum.
Okay, yeah. This is a coin flip for me, man. I'm gonna just so we're different. I'm gonna say Cruz Azul, but I think it ends 1-0. Um, it's too close to call, and I think Cruz Azul maybe just ekes it out playing at home. They've
Damn.
been on a decent stride recently, so we'll see. So Adrian, assuming your predictions come to fruition, man, and who you say wins. What quarterfinals can we expect for matchups? Any spicy ones
So
here?
yeah, so if things go the way that I think they will, we're gonna have Monterrey Puebla, America Atlas, Guadalajara León, and Toluca Pachuca. I think Monterrey Puebla, it should be a walk in the park for Monterrey. I don't think that's gonna be a spicy game. I don't think that's gonna be one of those where we expect Puebla to upset
Yeah,
Monterrey. But again, this is Liga MX, so there's always that surprise factor. So I'm not worried about it. But if it happens,
it shouldn't happen here though.
don't exactly. But if it
It should not
happens,
happen here.
don't say we didn't tell you. Don't say we didn't warn you. But I think, of course, definitely Guadalajara León is going to be a good game. Guadalajara has had a really good season, a stellar season. They're picking up steam. They finished third on the league, so I think this is going to be a very strong, entertaining match. Toluca against Pachuca is also another good one. Both teams come end with a strong stride on the last 5 games, and they are very level in terms of performance. Right, I think there's only like maybe 1 or 2 points between them. If I'm not
Right.
mistaken, I think Toluca ended with 32 points and Pachuca with 31. So they were very, very close. But Toluca ended up with 9 wins and Pachuca with 10 wins. So they're just right there. So I see this game as the closest one out of the bunch, uh, and perhaps in paper the most entertaining one, because I expect Monterrey to obliterate Puebla. I think America against Atlas is a good match, but I also feel that America should be, you know, they should be able to easily handle Atlas, and have And I expect this to be a high goal game, like 3-2, 4-2, some kind of something like that, just because you have the top scorers on that specific match. With Guadalajara and Leon, I expect a 1-0, but a close match. more so in the sense that maybe the keepers are going to be
At
uh,
fault.
yeah, well, not at fault, but they're gonna be like
Oh,
the
competitive.
stars of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. That's how we expected. And then Toluca Pachuca, I also see it as a tough match for Toluca. But man, I mean, we can post this on YouTube. It'll go up for history, and then a week after that, I'll come here with a freaking clown mouse and just going back on every single thing that I said.
And half those matchups will be completely different teams. um,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, so if Tigres win, we could see a Clásico Regio in the quarterfinals.
Well, that's gonna be difficult. The only way for that to happen is no, man. I mean, I think it's almost impossible because even if like Pachuca, León, Tigres, move on, whoever classifies from Atlas and Cruz Azul gets to play against
That's
Monterrey.
right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
if there's a case for a Clásico Regio in Liguilla, it's gonna be in semifinals, and that has to be if Tigres move on from Repechaje and they're able to defeat America uh, in the
Uh,
quarterfinals.
that's kind
So
of difficult. So we'll see what happens, man.
kind of dip. Yeah, man. Tough one.
Um, cool, man. So as we wrap up and look forward to this weekend's matches, Adrian, where can our listeners find us, brother?
Sure. I mean, if you want to see our pretty faces, they can find us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notifications. If you're okay just listening to our pretty voices, you can find us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast on. Last but not least, you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at Puro Pinche Gol. Don't forget that we post stuff every now and then.
Yeah, be sure to follow us on your preferred social media platform, and be sure to leave us a comment below. Who do you guys got advancing from the repechaje? Did your team make it to the repechaje, or is your team safe in the liguilla already, waiting for the next round? Um, we'd like to hear y'all's predictions and who's y'all's favorite to win the whole thing. We love reading y'all's comments down there. So yeah, let us know, and we'll interact with you guys there in the comments. Adrian, man, it's always a pleasure talking with you, ligamx, and we'll see how correct we were next time we talk and do our quarter final preview. So it's been a pleasure, man. See you in the next one.
As always, man, take it easy.
See you, bro.